and Victor Crowley is back. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Hatchet 2. This is the first movie of our movie week. So, for those who don't know, this entire week we are going to be putting up one movie a day, every day. It's a special little thing to kick off the new year. I know, it's a little late in the month to kick off the new year, but there was really no other time I could have rightly put this except at the end of the month leading into the beginning of February. It really didn't work at any other point because I was starting the new schedule and everything. So I wanted to make sure I still got to this within the month of January, but I couldn't do it before now. So, yeah, there's going to be a movie every day this week alongside our regularly scheduled programming. And they're just a bunch of donation rewards that I haven't gotten to yet. Besides just having a fun little special, it's also a way to get to some of these donation rewards. So we're starting it off with Hatchet 2, which is a reward for Venom, and yeah, we reacted to the first one last June, and I was kind of meh on it, from what I remember. Like it wasn't that amazing. Like there were certain aspects of it that were good. I believe it had some pretty solid effects and whatnot. Um, but it seemed like it was trying to stuff itself with a lot of cameos. It had Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley for one, but you also have the likes of Tony Todd and Robert Englund in it, and it just felt like it was trying to use those as an excuse to not put as much effort into the story and characters. It felt very generic, very meh. But I'm willing to hope that the future entries do fix some of that and make it a little more interesting. Because that can definitely happen. Just because the first movie wasn't as great as it could have been doesn't mean the second and third will automatically be the same. They could end up being a lot better for all we know. Who knows? But that is what we are here to find out. So in the first movie, we were down in, I believe it's Louisiana. I believe it was New Orleans for Mardi Gras. But they decided to go on like this boat trip, this like swamp tour, where they end up getting stranded with the other tourists by the house of Victor Crowley. And I'm trying to remember the entire story of like who Victor was. I believe he was like he was born deformed, and he was like, was he abused by his father? I know he was sheltered by his father, away from everything. I think he used the hatchet to kill his father, though. I believe that was the case. Again, it's been since June of last year, so excuse me if I don't remember everything. But um, either way, he is not. Or no, I think maybe it was that his father was supposedly had supposedly killed him with the hatchet, but maybe that was wrong. I don't know. I don't like it was like this. That was the story that was told, but it wasn't completely accurate. I don't remember exactly how it went down. Um, we'll probably get some level of recap in this to some degree, or at least it'll pick up in a way to where we'll be able to follow it just fine. So at the end, I think there were only two survivors. They were on a boat trying to get away. And I think like the girl was surviving. The guy I think was dragged into the water by Victor. But then I think it kind of like pulled a little switch, a little bait and switch, and uh he ended up surviving without his arm, and she was pulled into the water by Victor at the end. I think that's kind of how it went. It was again, it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember every little thing, and it's not going to exactly go too well with that. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely interested in checking this out. I think this is a good time as any to finally get back to this. So let us just get into this and see what the movie has in store. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. In some ways, this was better than the first film, but I have to look up something here because I have to know for sure on something. Okay. This movie is officially classified as horror action, and it's wild to me that this is not classified as horror comedy. Because this movie genuinely was kind of funny at times. And the movie felt like it was a parody. Like I've seen a lot of horror and a lot of classic horror and everything. This isn't really classic, I would say, but it kind of tries to seemingly revive that kind of style of classic horror. And even a lot of the classic horror out there doesn't tend to be like unintentionally hilarious. Like you watch something like Halloween or uh oh my god, my mind is blanking. Friday the 13th. It's like, yeah, you're not really going to get a lot of comedy. I mean, there's some comedy to it, but it's more of a straight up slasher film. I mean, and I'm not counting like Friday the 13th because Freddy was, kind of made to be comical. Um, so that's kind of a separate thing. But you watch a lot of the classic stuff and it's like, okay, we have like just a general slasher. There is some comedy, sure, but only where kind of intentional. And in this movie, it's like it doesn't seem like it's intentional. It very much comes across as they're just like really poorly handling a lot of this. The acting on most of the characters, most of the actors, was not good. Uncle Bob, for example, was so ridiculously bad. It was funny. The only actors who I would say are good are the ones playing Mary Beth. Tony Todd is obviously a good actor. And then I would say actually the actor who was portraying the brother, he's trying to find his brother and everything. Though he was actually pretty good. He was believable for the kind of character he was supposed to be. Everyone else was bad. They were really poorly executed, like, stereotypes, basically. And it ended up making pretty much the entire thing just kind of really funny. Like, you're almost rooting for the bad guy here. Because they're so ridiculously poorly acted, you just kind of want them to die. And you're kind of excited to see the fun, creative ways that they do die. And, like, come on. Like, there has to be some intention in there. Because, like, how could you make that scene where he kills the two having sex, the exes, and he gets his hatchet stuck inside of her? And he's having trouble pulling it. It's like, that is so ridiculously comical. But that's the only part that actually felt like it was trying to be funny. Everything else felt unintentionally funny. Because, like, I mean, think about it. Think about how the rest of that scene even went. Like, they're fucking. He cuts the dude's head off, and his body, the guy's body begins to, like, spasm. And so it's like he's continuing to fuck her, just starting to go really, really aggressively for a moment before stopping. And it's like, and meanwhile, Victor's just standing there watching all of this and watching her as, like, after he stops, she's trying to, like, you know, move, ride his dick herself. And Victor's just standing there watching, just enjoying the show. It's like, come on. And then when she specifically notices and then jumps off, he specifically kills her by, swinging the axe right into her pussy. It's like, that can't be unintentional. But why is specifically that scene so intentionally comedic? Comedic, yes, while all of the other stuff feels super unintentionally so. And then it's like the story, it's like, okay, um, her uncle, her father, and then this other dude, Trent, were the three kids who burned down the house and caused Victor to die in the first place. And they they're now, like, being brought together. The father was already killed, so um Dr. Zombie's trying to bring the others together so Victor can get his revenge, and everything can be, resolved. It's like, this story is stupid. It's like, it's so fucking convenient that her father and uncle just happened to be two of the kids who, set fire to the house. That is stupidly convenient, or as you could say, contrived. Um, and then this other guy just comes out of nowhere. He's just some random guy that just happened to be there as well. And, like, Trent and Bob, there's no sign that they ever recognized each other. So it's like, it was never put together by Dr. Zombie that wasn't the same uncle. He never put it together that wasn't the right guy, considering Trent and him never seemed to recognize each other. It's just, it's dumb. The writing is dumb. But at the same time, it's so dumb it kind of loops around to being funny, and it makes it entertaining to watch. More so than the first movie. It was more fun to watch because it felt so unintentionally funny. Again, except for the part with the X's, because that scene had to be intentional. There is no fucking way in hell that wasn't intentional. Because if that was somehow unintentional, then that is probably the greatest example of perfect comedy without trying. It would be the single greatest moment of unintentional comedy if that was unintentional. Because it was so perfectly funny. It felt like it was entirely planned. This was wild, to say the least. Um, Quite a different experience than the first film. But we did get titties, so hey, I mean, there is a little fun aspect to that. Um, and apparently, I found out in between. I was looking some stuff up. Apparently, um, there's that part at the beginning where she's at the house of that one hunter guy, and there's this, like, thing showing on the TV this news story. Apparently, that's like a cameo from a character from another film by like the same director or whatever. Um, a film called Frozen, I guess. So fun little cameo there, I guess. Um, just a little neat moment. I don't know what the Frozen film is. The only film I think of when I hear Frozen is the Disney movie, and I doubt that's it. But yeah, I did see that when I was like looking up some like things about this and all. But yeah, uh, very very interesting, and surprisingly funny. Now, at the end of the last one, it was left a little more open ended. This one seems a little more conclusive. Victor had his head smashed in, and while he started to move again, she then grabbed the shotgun and blasted what remained of his face. So it seems like he should be dead. But his head wasn't cut off, and it was said, Dr. Zombie did say that that was more than likely necessary. That cutting off the head would probably kill him for good. Though he might have just been saying that when in reality he wanted to, use the uncle and Trent and all. So who the fuck knows? Even if is reborn and does have to do all that entire thing, the repeater thing, um, like then what do you do in the next movie? It's like at that point, it's like, where else do you go at that point? I don't know. We'll definitely check that one out eventually. For the time being, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Hatchet 2? For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.